Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Everyday English Practice with Podcast. I'm Keith.
And I'm Monica. We're excited to have you with us today for a discussion on a common challenge many English learners face: understanding English, struggling to speak it.
That's right, Monica. I believe that this is a topic that resonates with many of our viewers.
Absolutely. I spent years devouring English books and movies, yet when it came to conversation, I froze.
I get what you're saying. It's frustrating to understand what's being said but feel tongue-tied when it's your turn to speak.
Well, it's high time we change that. Today we're going to explore why this happens and share some tips to help you bridge the gap between comprehension and speaking. Are you ready, Keith?
Definitely. But first, let's introduce some key vocabulary related to today's topic. Monica, why don't we start with the word comprehension?
Sure, Keith. Comprehension means the ability to understand something. For example, you might have a good comprehension of written English, but speaking it is another story.
Great explanation, Monica. Another important word is fluency. Fluency refers to the ability to speak or write a language easily and accurately.
Perfect. And without any further ado, Keith, why do you think that people can understand English sometimes without being able to speak it?
Well, there are a few reasons. One big one is the difference between active and passive skills.
Can you elaborate on that, Keith?
Sure. Passive skills like listening and reading involve taking in information. You're absorbing vocabulary, grammar, and sentence structure as you listen or read.
Right? Kind of like soaking up knowledge through a sponge.
Exactly. But active skills like speaking and writing, on the other hand, are active skills that require producing language.
Ah, that makes sense. When you listen to English, you have time to process what you're hearing. But when you speak, you need to think quickly and form sentences in real time, which can be challenging.
Precisely.
Keith, do you remember struggling with any languages when you were learning them?
Definitely. When I was learning Spanish, I could understand conversations, but felt nervous and hesitant when speaking. Took a lot of practice to gain confidence.
I had a similar experience with French. I understood the grammar and vocabulary, but speaking fluently took a lot of effort and practice.
I know, right?
Now, I think another reason could be focusing heavily on grammar rules.
Wait, isn't grammar important?
Absolutely. But grammar is like the skeleton of a language. Provides structure, but it doesn't give you the confidence to move and dance with the language.
So, what kind of dancing are we missing?
We need to practice using the language in real-world situations. Think about it like learning a song on an instrument. You can read the music sheet, but to be a skillful musician, you need practice.
That's a great explanation. And I think another reason for this challenge is the fear of making mistakes.
This is so me. I know I used to worry about mispronouncing words or using incorrect grammar, which is why I was so terrified to speak anything.
I'm sure there are also many learners who are facing the exact same challenge. So Monica, how did you overcome that fear?
It took some time, but I realized that making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process. One thing that helped me was focusing on the progress I was making rather than the mistakes.
How does it work exactly?
Well, it's really simple. I kept a journal of new words and phrases I learned, and I would celebrate small victories like successfully ordering food in English or having a short conversation.
Wow, that's really inspiring. Another strategy I think is also very helpful is to record yourself speaking.
Yep, that's a great tip. It can help you identify areas for improvement and track your progress over time. And it doesn't cost a dime.
Exactly. And don't forget about the importance of mimicking native speakers. Watching movies, TV shows, or even YouTube videos in English and trying to imitate the speakers can greatly improve your pronunciation and intonation.
Yes, it's also enjoyable to watch content you're interested in while learning. But instead of just watching or listening, you can also repeat what you hear out loud. It's a great opportunity. Practice your pronunciation and speaking.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
And let's not overlook the power of thinking in English.
Yeah, you have a point there.
It might seem difficult at first, but it really helps in reducing the time you spend translating from your native language to English.
It's true that thinking in English can make your responses more natural and spontaneous. Are there any ways to make it easier?
Well, you can start with simple thoughts and gradually move to more complex ideas.
Great advice, Monica. And if you want us to discuss this topic in a more detailed and practical approach, don't hesitate to leave us a comment down below.
Okay, moving on to the next question for the challenge we put forward at the beginning of the video. How can we bridge the gap between understanding and speaking?
Our first tip is to prioritize speaking from the beginning. Find opportunities to talk, even if it's just simple conversations.
True. There are also many apps and online platforms where you can practice speaking with AI or join language exchange communities.
That's right. You can connect with native speakers or other learners who are just as eager to improve their speaking skills.
Another effective method is shadowing. It's one strategy that has worked for me.
What is shadowing, Monica?
Yes, shadowing involves listening to a native speaker and trying to mimic their speech as closely as possible.
That sounds like a perfect way to practice speaking.
Exactly, shadowing helps with pronunciation, intonation, and even fluency. It forces you to produce the language in real time, which is a great exercise for speaking skills.
I like to think of this like building a habit. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes.
That's right. The more you expose yourself to speaking situations, the more comfortable and confident you'll become.
Another great strategy is to focus on building fluency, not grammatical perfection.
That's a great point, Keith. Fluency is about getting your point across smoothly, even if you use simpler grammar or vocabulary.
Exactly. Think about how young children learn a language. They don't spend time learning grammar rules, they just pick it up naturally through conversation.
Here's an activity you can try at home. Find a short English news report or movie scene, listen to it a few times, and then try to retell it in your own words. This will help you practice summarizing information and using your own vocabulary.
That sounds like a fun and effective exercise.
And remember, everyone's journey is different. Find what works best for you and stick with it. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small.
That's right. It's all about taking small steps and building up your skills gradually. And before we wrap up, let's summarize some key points from today's discussion.
Definitely. We talked about the difference between understanding and speaking English, the importance of practice, and overcoming the fear of making mistakes.
We also shared practical strategies like using language exchange platforms, recording yourself, mimicking native speakers, and thinking in English. Remember, the journey to fluency is different for everyone, so find what works best for you.
And most importantly, be patient and kind to yourself. Progress takes time, but with consistent effort, you'll get there.
Love that, Monica, and don't forget to leave a comment below with your own tips for overcoming the speaking barrier. We'd love to hear from you.
You can also share your experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear how it went.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Really helps the channel grow and allows us to keep bringing you more content like this. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.
And that's all for today's episode of Everyday English Practice with Podcast. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.